It's causing a hell of a lot of problems. All because of the structure.
You know why? I did something very interesting because religions, what they do is they mistake the means to be the end. All religions mistake the means to be the end. They think the means is the end by itself. But they don't understand that the destination is different from your means. And then you fight over the means, not realizing that the end could be the same.
Yeah. That's also there, yeah.
Because we fight over the means. Because, you see, and actually, really speaking, I don't know why nobody thinks about this. Who wants something? I wake up in the morning, nobody thinks that, no child, is, when a child, attains a maturity to be self-conscious. No child, no human being wakes up in the morning and says that, you know what, I want God, I want to search for God. Nobody says that. But they say one thing, I want to be happy. You see, the wanting to be happiness is a universal phenomenon that is in all human beings, regardless of creed, race, or geographical location, nationalities. We all want to be happy. That is universal. Over and above that universal phenomenon that we all naturally desire, we superimpose a God or a religion.
Yeah.
So every other system of thought is superimposed onto this fundamental need to be happy, to be free. So why am I wasting my time trying to spend my time in that which is superimposed rather than looking at my fundamental desire, which is to be happy?
I'm getting on with that.
Yes. People don't see it. Religious people don't see it. They're stuck with the means because the means is what? Using that superimposition. This is very interesting. I use the superimposition to remove the superimposition. If I have a thorn prick into my hand, I use another thorn to take it out.
Yeah.
So what happened? We are just stuck with the first thorn and we end up doing puja, worship to the first thorn. Not thinking that I have to use the same thorn to take it out, to dislodge it. This is where religions go terribly wrong. Because why? It's highly politicized. Religions have become political today. How many followers I have? How many people can convert?
Oh, yes.
That's all they're interested in. They're not interested in living the good life.
No. It's a matter of collecting people.
Yeah, it's all collecting people. How big is my congregation? That's all about religion today. It's a total waste. Because today's religions take you away from yourself. It takes you away from what you are capable of arriving logically or even through experience or through realization. Because they say, oh, if that's your realization, that's not in the scripture.
Not in the book.
That's not in the book.
Exactly.
So my question is, what is not in the book? Have you realized whatever that's in the book? Neither have you realized, and neither have you realized what I've realized, and yet you have the cheek to tell me that I'm wrong. I find that amazing how a human mind can belittle itself.
Yeah.
I find that amazing. You know, humans is a very interesting lot. In spite of having gone through all the pains, they will be willing to go through the very pain again and again without questioning it.
Yeah.
That's so sad.
But the interesting thing is that they do have the potential to get out of that.
Exactly. In spite of having that potential, they will still choose to be, subject to this. That's sad. It's a shame that it's like, I always quote this. The one who doesn't realize this before that is a suicide. That's real suicide. It's not jumping down or hanging yourself. The one who doesn't see this is suicide. Because why? In spite of having this potential, you choose not to see it. That is suicide.
We are also looking at the fact that religions, the big religions, the main religions, seem to have appeared at a certain time. When I say religions, there are two things. There should be a system of belief, and there should also be the pyramid. Now, if you look at those things, they all emerged at a certain time.
Yeah.
Within about 1,000 years, the Big Bang scale. Maybe that was a certain stage of evolution, where there was a biopsychological switch that was pulled that made it possible for these things to emerge. Now they can't. However hard you try, you can't get a big one like that going now. Right? With global reach and all that kind of thing. So we are looking, because there may be another such switch that we can pull which will bring about the change that we are looking for.
This was addressed by a psychologist by the name of Julian Jaynes. He published a paper. It's called The Bicameral Mind. You'll be interested to look at that. He said that at a particular point of time, the structure of the brain changed.
Ah, there you are. Well,
You may want to explore this. His name is Julian Jaynes.
okay.
Check him out. He has published a book called, I think it's called The Bicameral Mind. He said that the period of revelation in religion and the period of non-revelation, because there seems to be a particular period where there have been revelations.
Where all this stuff came.
Yes,
yes.
and after there seemed to have a blackout.
Yeah.
So he analyzed that. And how he came to this particular thesis was based on his workings with schizophrenic people.
Okay.
He worked with people with schizophrenia, and then he started to delve further. People used to laugh at him when he published his paper by his thesis of having a bicameral mind. Today, the modern psychologists are now flipping his books again.
Yeah, because it makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense because he was a foreigner. So I got his works and I was fascinated. So it resonates with what you just said. So it has to do with physiology that was enabled back then, and right now disabled.
Yeah, now it's disabled.
Disabled.
Yeah, maybe it's not required. So the other thing that when you were talking, another thing that hit me was schizophrenics are very, very interesting people.
Exactly. I believe that I take the same view.
Especially the paranoid schizophrenics.
Because they don't see. The sensory organs do not report, but the mind reports.
Mind works. Yeah.
That means perception is not sensory.
And they can see into the future. They can see connections that other people can't see.
Correct. So that's why I asked my students in my class, are you really sure that this is hallucinating or you are hallucinating? Because I asked this question, because you think that there are parallel realities. You think there are, really we all think that I exist and therefore you exist and everyone else exists. But really speaking, how many persons are existing? There's only one I.
Actually, exactly.
So everything happens to be an object in my perception. And who am I to say that you are hallucinating?
That's the point.
I could be hallucinating. But you're right, schizophrenic people. That's why Julian Jaynes, somebody who got into my book, my book, good books. This guy is a revolutionary. Because he pointed out this fact. That he said there's a particular point of time that it became at the time he says a bicameral mind. The two types, the brain has two sides. One of the faculty of the brain was to detect the super conscious realities. And that's why you can record revelations.
That's interesting.
Very interesting. And he was ridiculed at that time. When
But now it makes
now
perfect
people,
sense.
yes, but today the psychologists are saying, hey, maybe we should
Check him out.
Yeah, check him out. So these are people who are, groundbreakers that we can, it helps our cause.
Of course.
It looks like
I
I have
think you
to,
have to go.
Yeah, I have to go and I need to take a nap again,
Yes.
take my medication and rest.
So it's good we touch base.